oh boy, Anthony J. Rush, aka Double G, aka God's Gift in the building. What's up, bro? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, family, man? You already know what it is, fam bam. It's your boy Double G, aka God's Gift, all up in the place to be. Shout outs to my friends, fans, and family, everybody that supports your boy in the world of entertainment. We already know it is a crazy world of twists and turns. Real talk, fam bam. Real
Yeah,
talk.
yeah. It's good to have you here, man. Hey, listen, I
Thank you.
appreciate I appreciate the tap in, but deeper than that, bro, like you got a lot of different things going on for yourself that I would love the world to know about. So tell the people a little bit about what you do. For those that don't know you and how you got let's just start with the acting piece because I know acting and music is all intertwined, but how'd you get into acting, bruh?
Well, you're right how it's all kind of like intertwined because I got into acting the same time I got into doing podcasts when podcasts first came out. And the radio host of the podcast, I was her co-host. Her name was Michelle Farrell, and she was also, an acting coach. Someone who could teach you, certain methods of how to drop into different scenes. And she was also pursuing her acting career. So
Okay.
that's kind of how I got into it. And then while we were having people come to the radio show, one of the guests just happened to be a producer, Mr. Levi Otis, Levi LA Films, and he was casting that same day. So we did the interview, and he cast for one of his film productions called Christian Brothers, about a family with the last name of Christian, in case you're wondering. And that's kind of how I got into it right there. Doing radio, and then one of the producers came to the show.
So did you like, I feel you on the connects because sometimes connecting with some people could lead you into something else, and then you kind of get that itch and you start feeling like, yo, this is my calling. This is what I was supposed to do. Did you feel like that? Or what did it
Yeah.
take you after getting connected like that to start making you feel like, yo, I could take this a little further?
Well, honestly, at first it felt like strange coincidences. Got into the world of doing music, doing radio, and then now I'm presented with the opportunity because that's what it really was. It's an opportunity, and a lot of people are presented with opportunities on a daily basis, but they just
Mhm.
don't see them or they pursue them. So I just happened to went down there, but after that, then he filmed another movie, another film production called Case Management. And in this one, I got another role, in the movie. So now I'm like, wow, I got film credits under my belt. And that's when I learned about IMDb, where that's where the people who are doing the big movies, they go to the IMDb film database to look for actors and actresses.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, I got two under my belt and didn't even realize it until I became familiar with that database. And then, like I said, as I was doing the radio show, the Go to Work show, we would have different guests. And then there was another guest that came in. And this guest, they were professional hood entertainment. And Mr. Brian Bostic and Maurice Locke, these are brothers who have their own film production. And they blessed me to be in three more film productions. One was a mini reel, and two of them were actual films. And these two films are on Tubi right now today. You can Google them right now today. They're called Here We Go, and the other one is my comedy called Pusey Control.
Okay.
And with that happening, I'm like, wow, and you have to promote the productions. A lot of people they don't do that.
Yeah.
But anything I'm in, I just promoted it, and as I was promoting it, and, a lot of opportunities were coming. People were seeing that I was, into films, and they're like, "Hey, would you like to be in this one? Or would you like to be in this one?" So then came along a film called Bang Bang Betty, And that also came because of me being in the music, because one of my music producers named Urge 7, he was actually one of the co-producers, casting um, producers on Bang Bang Betty, and he brought me to the table for that. And from there, they just start building up. I mean, I could pretty much tell you the same story about every film, but today, to this day, I have 13 independent film credits. Two of them are producer assistant. You know, where you assistant producer,
Right.
or, the cast members, things like that. I've done sound. I've done booming. People don't know what booming is. That sound and lighting. So that's behind the scenes. So once I got started, just to answer your question, everything just became attracted to me. I just wanted to be a part of everything that it took to produce a film. And that's why you see God's Gift Productions. So I'm like, hey, if I'm behind the scenes doing it, I'm learning how to do it. So let's do it. And
Hey, that's dope, bro. That's dope. Not just that, man. I mean, telling the story about how you turn something into something else is always beautiful to be inspired by. But how did you get connected with One Perspective Films and Oba and Temperature Rising? Tell the folks a little bit about that.
yeah, well, I got hooked up with Oba. Oba is that's a very cool guy. And I was in a film called Only Way Out, and
Hmm.
we were filming this film in Vegas, courtesy of Rick Hard and Mike Royal. Shout outs to them right there. There's two other film producers who also brought me to the table. And that on that film set is how I met Oba, because we're actually in the same scene together. We're part of the same crew, and we just vibe. We just vibe. We filmed. It was a long evening. I
Yeah,
think we went into like the midnight hours filming. We went to like two or three different locations with cast and crew, but we was just vibing. And you know, he was telling me, yeah, I got some other stuff coming up that you might be interested in. And once again, like those opportunities that I spoke on, when somebody say, hey, that you might be interested in, my answer is always yes. I'm not turning out any film opportunity, because that's your opportunity to the next opportunity,
no
you
doubt.
know? And that's kind of what happened with Temperature Rising. Um, Oba worked with me in the movie. We worked together with a host of music artists. I'm telling you, from Yuck Mouth to man, Catofornia, Eastwood. I mean, just so many, just a lot of different, in that film. And then he was like, okay, he's doing Temperature Rising, and then he told me who the main characters are gonna be. And I was like, what? Are you kidding me? Omar Gooding? I'm like,
Hmm.
Mr. Hollywood, Mr. Disney, Mr. Omar Gooding?
Yeah.
Paula J. Parker from Friday. You ain't got to lie, Craig. You ain't got to lie. You know,
Hmm.
and just
Think we had a
out.
little.
And
Yeah. Think you had some technical difficulties, bro. Go ahead and fade out and then fade back in, and I'll go ahead and give you the proper return back. But my man Anthony J. Rush, aka Double G, aka God's Gift. When I saw him on the thing, Temperature Rising, I was like, you know what, man, this dude got, what I'm saying, talent. But the assemblage that he was talking about of people, I'm telling y'all, if y'all ain't checked it out on Tubi yet, y'all need to go tap in and just get it. Tubi's free, y'all. So if y'all got a smart TV, go get that app, download that app. That app is free to be able to watch it for free. You don't have to pay for nothing. Means a lot to these people who are actually putting in real work. So I'm telling y'all, if y'all ain't checked it out yet, y'all need to definitely do it. So It's a good look to be able to have a bunch of these members on talking about their experiences and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, like I just feel like giving an opportunity to be able to pay it forward, for people's hustles and storylines and how they got to be able to get to where they are is very inspiring. Because some of these people, either they're trying to work a 9 to 5, but don't want to work a 9 to 5 because this situation is a better situation to be a part of. Like, I think it's super dope at the end of the day. And I think I got my man, Mr.
Uh,
Rush, back on in. So there you
yeah,
go.
and everybody wants to call you when you're doing something
Of
important. So I
course,
have to
bro. Of
apologize to
course.
everybody,
Hey, they
man.
could be like, man, I heard you on the tube, bro. Like,
And that,
okay.
that's probably what it was. And I appreciate everything. Sometimes people just don't know, they get
Yeah.
excited, and so that was fine. So yeah, I
Yeah.
just like I said, you want to apologize for that, fam.
Nah, you good, bro. You good. Hey, man, to me, if it's not real, then it ain't real. You know what I mean?
Well,
So
yeah,
to me, it's what the way it is. But nah, I was just saying like how important it is to be able to not just be on people's films, but to see, because you mentioned before we got clipped off was the assemblage of people that was on
oh
Temperature
yeah,
Rising and everything else that kind of tapped in, and I think that's important for for the people to know, like, your storyline and your journey speaks volumes. Like, people are waiting for you to tell the story so they can be inspired by. Because somebody might listen to you right now and just be like, you know what? Hey, I didn't give up on my dream either, so I'm gonna go push this line. So, just connecting with Oba is amazing. He's, and if people ain't watch it, I was telling people while you were gone, it's free to get on Tubi to go watch it. It's not like
yeah.
you gotta pay for something. You dig?
Real talk. And speaking of 2B, I'm blessed to have at least 6 movies filming, streaming on 2B right now, fam bam. Of
Yeah.
course, Temperature Rising is definitely Temperature Rising has over a million of views
Apply
on
for
that
that
one.
too, though. Like, for
And
real, for real.
counting. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. And then I spoke earlier of a film called Bang Bang Betty. That's an action flick about a Vietnam veteran. And then there is Hip Hop Circus. Now, Hip Hop Circus is a series, like sort of like The Wire, and it just goes it goes a little in depth on the ins and outs of the hip hop industries, things that the music artists go through, you know. And a lot of these artists, the thing about these films that I was blessed to be in is some of them have some of the same actors,
Yeah.
like Bang Bang Betty and Hip Hop Circus have some of the same artists, the same actors, and then also with Temperature Rising, um, man, there's a couple of my music label mates in that one also. So that's the link right there. We're all music artists, and we're connected to film producers and independent, individuals doing their thing, and that's what it is. It's everybody bringing what you have to the table,
Right.
seeing the big picture, and, and,
Yeah.
and that's what it is. I got to give a shout out to my boy Oba because he's doing the thing and he's providing opportunity for a lot of people, and he also has a new film coming out called Chances, and he blessed me to be in this one. Hey man, you want to appear in this? I'm like, yeah, and I'm in the scene with MC8, MC8 from Compton's Most Wanted, and I'm like, wow. So by me being in the same scenes with these people, these music execs or VIPs, that's giving me shine. And to
Mhm.
me, that's the bigger picture because it's not about me. It's about me showing it can be done and me pursuing my dreams and just showing, hey, this can be you. And I want to. I also have goals and dreams of being an executive producer like my boy Oba. I saw him you know film the different scenes. I saw him directing the different scenes. That's all part of the toolbox when you're in this entertainment industry. You're supposed to learn from everybody you've been blessed to be around, man. That's real talk.
Hey, that's amazing to just witness everything. And to me, like I said, man, it all goes back to your origin story about what you were. I mean, it just took that one moment with the collaboration with old girl to, get you connected like this. Like, these stories should be important for a lot of people, not just to be able to for you to publicly put it out there, but for people like myself and others to just be like, man, let me get this man these damn flowers. Because a lot of people don't want to celebrate, or people don't want to talk about all these things, and I think it's important to share. So as you dibbled and dabbled a little bit in this thing, and now you're trying to executive produce, and now you're trying to do so many extra different things. What has been your biggest positive take on just this journey about what you're trying to be for yourself so far?
My biggest positive take, probably is going to be a unique answer, but the fact that this thing is bigger than me,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
have the opportunity to be a part of something that's bigger than me. So I can say, yeah, I helped that succeed or survive, or I provided opportunity by, you know, going through certain things. And that's why people, tend to start up their own production labels and things like that, because they've gone through, all the hard work, and they just want to, they want to provide opportunity for people. And and that's what it is. See, because here's the one thing that everybody in the music industry and the entertainment acting industry, we all want the support of the fans. We all want the support of the people who are watching our work, our production, our product, what we're producing. I don't understand why, entertainers or music artists. I don't understand why they go back and forth, with the disrespect when we all want the same thing. We're all striving for the same goals. Hey, better life, and for the world to recognize our skill and talent. And I just try to keep it right there, on both fields,
yeah.
music and
I feel like a lot of people, they cannibalize success in a way where it's just like, what, I got to eat this person up in order for me to just stay on top or whatever. I feel like this thing's been going on for a long ass time now. Like, it's okay to share the wealth. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I have a platform, or if I have something, it's important for me to pay it forward. But also, the biggest thing about all of this though is to be humbled by it and to take it, because you got to think about it this too right here, Rush, is people pay it for, people help people. You can't lose. You can't lose if it's done with conviction, and if it's done with passion, and if you want to go see that man or that woman go win. It's who's losing? Nobody, if it's done that way.
exactly. And I do. My approach to everything is it's from a positive perspective. And I know a lot of times like it's difficult, but my approach from the beginning is positive, because here's one thing I found out. I discovered about entertainment, music, and music industry. Everybody wants to deal with someone who's positive. Everybody
Right.
does.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
There's
you
too
hope.
many negative people in the industry. You deal with the negatives every day.
Yeah.
But a positive individual who's speaking positive, who's speaking life into something, that's somebody you kind of want to be around. You want to plug him in if you have plugs. You want to connect him with your people. He's the right fit for this and the right fit for that, because of how he carries himself and his approach to something. That's kind of like a blueprint that I've been just, creating, just, just as I proceed down this journey, because it is a journey.
Yeah.
And that's just what I want to tell a lot of people. Don't look at it from, it's not first of all, it's not a competition. I'm not in competition with anybody, and this is not a competition. We all want the support of the same people, the same fans, we want the same thing. It's not a competition, so that
Hey.
that's that that's something I really just wanted to communicate to the people out there. This is not a competition, family.
Yeah, the only competition you need to be in is one with yourself. Because to me, if you trying to level up and be better every single day, then you got to work on you competing against you. You know what? I am, because I'm gonna be like, you know what? Tomorrow's gonna be better than the day, or you know what? I'm gonna make this day better than yesterday, because that's just kind of that's how you play this game in this world that we have. Like, I'm not worried about nobody else. If it's somebody trying to trample my mission, and somebody's like hate, not just hating on it, but just trying to diminish everything that I got going on, yeah, I don't need to be around you. It's okay. It's fine. I don't need that
And you
energy.
know what? You know what about that? Everything that happens is supposed to happen,
No
and
doubt.
you're supposed to learn something from it. That's what I because I've gone through some trials and tribulations, and like
Yeah.
you said, but that's what makes me the humble individual that I am. All that stuff you were just saying, you're going through something with people and trials and tribulations, and the humble are noticed. They are noticed.
Yeah. I feel
They
like
are
we all
noticed.
have. So it's just a matter of how you're gonna handle these obstacles that's been in your life, and how
Yeah,
you want to turn that into something more. And that's something that you can't wait for nobody to do. You can't wait to, the prayers have been answered or something like that. You can pray all day, but the answers is gonna come in little pieces of stuff that you do throughout the day. And that's, for me, and you could add on to this, because I just feel like it's just something that, anybody that's in movies, that's in music, and we're gonna talk about music in a minute. But I used to tell hella people this, bro. I used to be like, bro, if you assert yourself and and you make it all about you and your effort, your plan, the stuff you got to do, create a habit within for 21 straight days. That's 3 weeks. If you do that and you just pour into yourself, figure out who you are, what you want to be for 21 days straight, your fucking life will change. I promise you, if you do
yeah,
that, because
yeah.
that's going to give you a perspective about who you are, what you want to be, who's in your life that one deserves to be and two doesn't. And then you can figure out the platform as far as what you want to make as far as building your business. Because some people tap out when they feel like the trials and tribulations that you mentioned is too rough. Man, I got too much going on. I'm content being this
Exactly.
way. But that's not going to make you grow when you say you want to grow, but you're afraid of yourself of doing it. Like, make it make sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was told when I first got into, the entertainment, music, and all that other stuff, at least 5 years of straight hustle and grind. That's what
Yeah.
it's gonna take. Even if you don't see anything, it might be the small crowds, it might be the little things, but that is the so-called foundation that you're building, family. A lot of people don't even take the time to understand that. They want it here and now instead of building a solid foundation. So,
But you know what it is though? Some people are, and I know this because I've seen it. I've dealt with people not just recently, but in the past where, they love it when they're pouring into other people, but when it's
yeah,
time to pour into yourself, it's super awkward because then you have to look at yourself in the mirror every day. And
right.
sometimes some people don't like that. And my whole thing is like, because I do and I did, it just took me a minute for me to get, to me to be humbled. Like, you know what? Damn, I'm not doing this right. I got to change up how I do it. But some people are afraid of themselves, and that's just the biggest and sometimes the why we don't know. But if you don't own it and you don't say, hey, you know what? I gotta look at myself in the mirror because if I don't do it, I'm a fail. Some people don't do
Man,
that. So then we don't know what their journey is even going to look like because they're afraid of themselves to be able to talk about it.
exactly. And that's where you humble yourself because when you look at yourself, you know the truth.
Yeah.
Like even like when I do a podcast, radio podcast, like the music rotations or the different things, you like, nah, you know, you and you know what's not you,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So I totally understand. And it takes it because it took me a while to realize. I still don't look at myself. I look at myself as Anthony Rush.
Okay.
You know, I wear my own clothing label, my clothing logos and label. Like this is one of them wearing right now. But sometimes I may have a shirt with my face on, not realizing that hey, I have done acting. I do
Yeah.
music. I
Yeah.
am out there.
Yeah.
I forget. I'm like
No
wow.
doubt.
And it took me a minute to realize, hey, this is the blessings that you've been blessed to, walk within, and 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 that's why I'm within it with a humble attitude, because I know this is bigger than me. I know it was a blessing that was presented to me. And I'm like, you can't be afraid
Yeah,
to, to walk down your path that's been ordained for you. You're gonna have, trials and tribulations on both sides of you, but when you've been blessed, because it's not what you do, it's what people get from you
yeah,
when you do what you.
yeah,
And so we don't know what we do. You don't. Hey man, you have thousands of people tuning in. We
yeah,
don't know. We don't know the simple little things to us that's gigantic to other people. So as long as it feels comfortable, and and people are blessed from it, then hey, it's I'm
that's,
all with it, fam. I'm just
that's real.
blessed to
Hey,
be in this position. Real talk.
no doubt. And this is the first time you and I have had dialogue. So before we start talking about music, I'm gonna tell you this a little bit about yourself, because you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like I kind of nailed it just by your energy right now. Like, I feel like over the last whatever amount of years, it could be the last few years or whatever, you're just now discovering you during this stretch. And not only because I could see it, I don't have to look in your eyes because you got shades on, so I could feel it when you talk. You're just now figuring out yourself, and it's starting to feel good to you right now. Like, even with these trials and tribulations that you got going on, right? So I'm taking, like, let me continue. So I'm taking pieces of what you're saying, and I'm literally like
Yes,
getting
thank
that energy from you, because when you kept saying, because you said it a couple of different times, when you say, you know what, this ain't even about me. And I'm paraphrasing what you just said to say this. You're discovering
you.
even your brand is bigger. Like you said, it was bigger than you. This is something you will now live for, you will die for, you will nurture, you will do every possible thing you can in order for you to be not just your best self, but build your brand that way. Am I lying, or am I telling that truth?
Real talk. Bullseye.
Come
Real
on,
talk. Right
come
on
on,
point.
bro. Come on.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that.
That's that energy though. Like, this is something that you can't fake, people. Not just my interview with this man right here, but I'm just saying in general, like, you I feel that belief in you that, you know what, no matter what, I'm gonna make this work. You know what I'm saying? It's part of God's plan. And we're gonna get into God's gift, because the music, double G, aka God's gift, you got to tell the people a little bit about how you came up with that name. How'd you get to the point where musically you wanted to express yourself this way with that name? So talk to the people.
Well, it's all like you said. It's all God's plan.
Hmm.
And I got into the entertainment. I'm double G, and I have songs out there. I sent you with two of them. Did that, for streaming. They're pretty hot all over the
On
world.
rotation right now on Next Legacy Radio. Bam.
Thank thank you very much. And and I was still at the radio station, and we had a gentleman who became a co-host, and at the time his name was Pastor Rourke. And he was on fire, and he was speaking, he was speaking to a lot of people and things like that. And we happened to hear me he happened to hear one of the songs on the radio, and then he asked me, hey, have you ever thought about writing, you know, music for God? And first thing came to my mind was, I can't write no gospel music. I mean, of course, I'm a
Yeah,
believer
yeah.
and all that, but I'm hardcore, and I'm this and I'm that. And he's like, it's not about making a gospel song. It's about, making a song that God is gonna put on your heart. I mean, it's almost like he knew this before it happened.
Hmm.
Now, I was double G at the time. He challenged me to write a song. And the song that I wrote is called Help. I haven't released it. I need to release it, especially with with everything that everybody's going through now. And in the song, it talks about, no EBT, all this stuff before it
Yeah.
happened. I wrote the song 5 years ago. Now, 5 years ago. I just been holding on to it. so that I could release it under Double G, under God's Gift Productions, my own label.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, after I wrote that song when I was going through some of the darkest times, you know, that I've experienced as an adult. It was like it was a song called Help. And I just wrote about everything that I was going through. My family turned their back on me. You know, uh, just inner stuff that I was dealing with that God was it was all God helping me deal with because I couldn't understand, the situations that were happening.
Yeah.
And so I wrote that song and I played it for him. And he said, "See, that's what I'm talking about. I knew you had it in you." And he said, "Instead of calling you Double G, we're gonna call you God's Gift." And I was like, "God's Gift." I'm like, "What?" Those some really big shoes, you know, to put
Right,
on.
right,
God's Gift. I'm like,
right,
"Wow," you know. But he was like, "This is where you are in your journey. Okay, you got the name, you've done the music, the street music, the inner city music, all that stuff that's got you hot, got you opportunities, got you noticed. Now it's time to talk to the people and show them how God has been changing your life for the better because
mhm,
it's nothing that happened overnight. This is, oh man, and it's still an ongoing process, you
yeah,
know. So, but I take that serious because I can have a positive or a negative effect on people. And one thing I don't want to have is a negative effect on people,
mhm,
because I'm God's gift, which means I'm supposed to be a blessing to people, show people how to do things, present opportunity to people, because like I said, it's bigger than me.
yeah,
So, as I came into that, understanding, I really start, hey, I am okay, yeah, this is me, this God's gift. And and that's why it's about giving back. It's bigger than me. It's about, like on my radio platform, I promote and inform everything that you just don't hear. It's
mm,
like, hey, um, a plethora of information. If God puts it on me, because I even talk about that a couple of times. But hey, man, God, I mean, because I'm gonna keep it 1,000%, man.
keep it,
I've been on vacation, and this is what we called it back in the day. I've been on vacation twice,
mhm,
and I have a D number. Now, for the people who know what a D number is, that's when you went to the prison early, like in the 80s and the 90s.
yep,
So I had a D number, and I'm like, God has taken me from this lifestyle and showing me, hey, if you follow me, this door is opening. This door is opening. I love tomorrow because I don't know what tomorrow is going to bring, and I'm always a phone call away from opportunity. And this could be anybody. I've done
yeah.
nothing. I've done nothing to deserve this, but I understand that these are blessings that are being bestowed upon me, and I took that serious. That's why I shared it well. That's why I realized it's bigger than me, family.
Well, let me say this because I feel like you have done something to deserve it because look at what you've been through. Either it was self-inflicted or just part of whatever it was, right? So you've been through enough shit to realize like, oh, okay, let me just pause this and let me stop this. And not just that, let me just figure out how the rest of my life is going to be told because I don't want somebody to tell my story. I'm gonna tell my story. And I think
Exactly.
that's how important it is to be not just be, but feel it in you though, to be independent, to feel independent, and not to be buckled down by just people, stuff who is weighing pressure on you, weighing you down, don't believe in your vision, whatever the case may be. So you had enough in you to decide you wanted to make that change. It was no longer self-inflicted. You no longer wanted to answer to negative energy and you wanted to put yourself out there where you know what I could tell my story, be proud of it, and let people know, watch me, watch what I
Exactly.
do and who I am and who I become, right?
Exactly. And that, I couldn't have said it any better. I mean, that's it. That is
Oh
it
man.
right there.
Hey, am I telling the truth? We just started
Oh yeah.
talking just now, like 30, what is it, 35, 36 minutes into this, bro. This is the feeling that I get when I vibe with people, bro.
Yes.
Like, I
Uh,
get it. It makes me happy though to see it because to a degree I've been through it in a different capacity like you, but I'm willing to share. I'm open. But you know what? Don't play me, especially if you say you want to win but you don't take the necessary steps to do it. Because
yeah.
to me, it matters when you pour into somebody that wants to pour into themselves to be better. But if you fake it, I ain't gonna fuck with you. It's that simple.
No, dog, I can't because I'm wasting valuable time. I could be
Exactly.
blessing, helping somebody else with what I'm wasting on someone who really don't have intentions on doing anything. I totally get it.
We ain't got no time to waste, bro. Time is the most valuable thing ever. Everybody's trying to go get bags, and we got to do it to pay our goddamn bills and everything
Yeah,
else that comes with it. But time is way more valuable because you
exactly.
can't take that back, bro. You can't ever get it back.
And that's why I want to say thank you for taking some time to bring me to your platform because I know this is another opportunity. This is one that was, already set on the path,
For sure.
and just to come here and talk with you because you've been doing it for a minute. I always do my research on anybody that I'm, conversating with, and I'm like, wow, you've been in this thing since 2007. I'm like, Lord, you be showing out. And this guy, and then you know what? I've seen some of the people you interviewed. I'm like,
Yes,
come
sir.
on, Lord. I say, come on, Lord. I mean, daytime television. I
Come
mean,
on,
but
bro. Come on,
you got
bro.
some
Come on.
serious hitters. And so I'm like, I'm on that list. I'm like, I don't care if I'm on the bottom of that list. I am on that list. Thank you.
You know
Thank
what?
you.
Hey man, hey, let me say this though. It means a lot to me for you to dig in and to just see the energy. Like, cause 18 years going on 19 is a journey and a half. And I'm gonna talk to you about podcasts in a minute, but man, I was doing this shit, but you said '07. I was doing this before podcasts became popular. So
Exactly.
we was rocking it beforehand. So the
Yeah.
hustle was different. It was different. It was MySpace different. It was
It was it was more respectable then. You
a
know,
yeah,
people weren't attacking the guests. I listen to some of these podcasts. I'm like, wow. So you trying to get numbers by attacking your
right,
guests?
right.
Like,
Yeah, yeah.
stop that. Yeah.
They trying to be Howard Stern or they trying to be something that they ain't. And to me, I think the key thing is to the relationships that I built based on that was like, you know what? We turned a 15-minute interview into an hour interview because we just rocked out and just had a good moment. And the relationships that I keep or have had is a testament to just the energy that I get and give back, right? So I mean, it means a lot to me, bro, for you to tap in like that and for you to do some
Oh, man.
digging and some homework. Cause some people I ain't really keep it real, bro. A lot of people half-ass me, like, nah, I know you've been doing something, but I ain't seen nothing. You know what I
Uh,
mean? But not
you
to
got to
that
get
thing.
your flowers too. Got to give you your flowers, bro.
That's love, bro. That's love.
It's all
Hey,
good.
man, how do you feel though? I mean, you kind of tapped into it a little bit, but how do you feel about the oversaturation of podcasts nowadays? Because some people put on that journalist hat and this is really and truly what they want to dig in and do. Some people went to school for it, some people didn't, but they take journalism super responsible by asking the right questions, creating a good culture, and some people don't. What are your thoughts?
Um, it's wow. It's deep. It's like the news. You have those who like on the regular channels. They just read scripted.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
then you have those who do their in depth. Those are the names you remember. They go to different countries. They cover different stories and stuff like that. You
Hmm.
know, um, I think it's an insult to the ones who don't take the time to to go in depth about what they're talking about. Because once you say anything, once it comes out of your mouth, you're held accountable for what you're saying,
Oh yeah.
even if it's scripted.
Oh yeah.
So you know, a lot of podcast hosts sometimes, you know, I'm going to use this as an example of Cat Williams' interview. A lot of the podcast shows, the hosts, they put their feelings into.
Mm-hmm.
You can't put your feelings into something when you're doing research about people because that's how you tend to, you know, that's how negative stuff gets to start. If you just say, "Hey, the guy's a good guy," you know, then okay. But if you say the guy's a good guy, but in my opinion, such and such and such and such, you know, such
Yeah.
and such. That's what a lot of podcasts cast hosts are doing today. They're saying something that's true, and then they're putting their spin on it
Mm-hmm.
because they're trying to get the numbers, and that's given the whole thing a black eye. Actually, I did podcast, I did radio, I accelerated radio. Shout out to everybody, the Go to Work lady, Kevin Nash, he's with KJLH. We did his radio station, and for 8 years, it was about building people, promoting businesses, marketing, you know, from a positive perspective.
Right.
What made me get out of it, you know, it was around the pandemic time when, after the pandemic or during the pandemic, is
Mm-hmm.
when I, you know, quit going because I did live in studio.
Yeah.
But I noticed how negative it had got, and it was something I really just didn't want to be a part of. You know, so I took a break for like 2 3 years, 2.5 3 years, because you know all these different shows are coming out, drink champs and different shows. I'm like negative influence. You got a table full of drinks and everybody getting drunk. You get them
Yeah.
drunk so they can
Yeah. Yeah.
tell all these negative stuff. You feel
Right.
me?
Right. Right.
That's an attack. That's an attack. That's a plan.
I
You
totally
know,
agree.
because a person that drink, you get loose. You get loose with the lips, and he'll say anything. He'll, you know, and it's like, wow, okay, you got the ratings, but look at the attack, the bombardment on the skill of being a host, being a journalist. Look at that. You make people like me and you make us look bad when we try to interview somebody. They think we
No
got
doubt.
something up our sleeve. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
totally understand. I mean, I know that's extended, but that's kind of my little
Nah,
feedback.
and it's fair because it's extended trauma for people who want to interview, but then damn, do we got to go down that slippery slope just so we can be able to get an interview? And then people would look at our interview as corny or whatever it is because we're talking inspiration and validation and trying to be better people and stuff like that. That's not hot for a lot of people these days, but I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. There is gonna
Exactly.
be a pocket of people that's gonna feel this, and I'm okay with that.
Exactly.
But
And
here's my thing,
exactly.
and your take is spot on. But here's my thing, especially when it comes to like journalism stuff we see on TV and podcasts, right? We have other bigger platforms, right? And these bigger platforms, like you said, if they read off script, they do what they do. But also they have a panel of people, and then all these panel of people is told to do is to fight. You know, you
Yeah.
fight, you do this, you even though you might agree, you still say something that you kind of flip the script and do or say whatever. Or
That's that's all
some of these
scripted.
people are really yeah, for the most part. But
Mhm.
to me, from a viewer eyes or ears is not gonna solve me. I've evolved beyond that. Like, why would you have a panel of people with differences that can't meet the middle? Because to me, it's just a dumbass way of conversating. Because to me, it's just like you're battling with no resolution, and to me, that's just dumb. At the end of the day, I'm not saying everybody can be free with whatever, but at least you know what, I don't feel it, but I get that perspective or whatever. And some people got the bird. And then, like you said, like, you mentioned drink champs and some of these other places or whatever. Like, it's just weird. It just gives off, and this is just the energy, bro. Like every time.
Yeah.
And to me,
Real talk.
it's just a little
Yeah.
bizarre, bro.
Real talk.
Yeah.
And I'm just, I'm sitting here. My phone is getting a little low. I didn't want to go in.
No, you good, bro. You good. You good. when it's all said and done, I just really and truly hope people really realize that this is just something that's important in regards to just, big speech and just trying to be able to do the right things the right time with the right situation or whatnot. So I appreciate, what I'm saying, my man for tapping in. I know what I'm saying, we stretched this out a bit beyond that, but man, I want to thank him. I want to thank you people listening, that's listening live and that will be listening on the download. Anthony J. Rudd is a great guy with a good opportunity to just keep thriving. We want to support that. Make sure y'all go ahead and check out Temperature Rising, which is available on Tubi for free for everybody to go tap in. So listen, hit the notification button on all thing Nexxlegacy. And like you see on the bottom, download the radio station app for free. Just hit up Nexxlegacy. I appreciate all y'all for the tap in now.